Hey Jyoti, ni hao.
Ni hao, Meenakshi. I like it. I know what you're hinting at. I remember you guys ended your last episode with the hint of bringing up on the next episode as global mindedness. So I know I've been
Yes,
following you all around. I've not been in action since last few episodes, but I'm following you all around.
rightly understood so. Welcome to the fresh episode of the Pedagogy Pods. And Jyoti,
We are going to talk about global mindedness today,
yes,
and let's talk how we can bring them into classrooms.
a very, very, very important topic these days because the world is flat these days.
So, bringing international mindedness to classrooms is not very difficult these days, thanks to our technology, thanks to Teams. We've been able to connect with different classrooms, beyond the physical boundaries of the classrooms. We can connect to different classrooms across the globe.
I
Doesn't
remember,
matter.
Jyoti, you have done something on Teams.
Yeah, I remember. I did it some. I connected with
It
all the
was it in
classrooms.
Corona times?
Yeah, it was when the COVID hit. Yeah, we did a big project, where we connected with other classrooms because environment and garbage issues are very very close to my heart. So I always try to find some or the other way to just connect to the students, across the globe.
Mm-hmm.
Basically we want to give our students a peek into what the other students life is, and it's not that we are only facing issues here. It's these are global issues, whether it's a excessive garbage issue, whether it's excessive pollution issue. All these issues are very very global, climate change issues. So our students also need to know how they are dealing with it, so that we can exchange that this is what we are doing here, and let's see what are their best practices, so that they can share their best practices and we can share our best practices. The whole concept of this connection with global classrooms is that, so that we bring a different perspective into our classrooms.
Jyoti, I want you to guide my audience. How did you do that?
So basically, what we did was, from time to time, like twice a week or thrice a week, I connected with different classrooms, and I made a few buddies, from a classroom. Like I'm connecting with four classrooms: A, B, C, and D. So from
Okay.
classroom A, I did like four buddies and four kids from my classroom. From classroom B, another four kids from my classroom and the buddies. So I created that buddy system.
Mm-hmm.
So then they created when then they started connecting themselves after our session, like how they are dealing with an issue. Like for example, pollution, what are they doing? Like our students told them, like we are doing, what we are doing is we are trying to do odd and even. Our government is telling us no construction happening here, and children are at home, they are doing online classes.
Mm-hmm.
And vis what they learned was, they have some, if they have some better facility there, they are doing, all the electric vehicles are on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, because they are not allowed to, have the petrol thing or diesel, because that creates pollution.
Mm-hmm.
Or how we're dealing with garbage here. How do we deal with garbage? Are we segregating into different issues? How are they segregating? How are they dealing with recycling facilities? So these are some small parameters which we connected, and they could see our students learned a lot as what are they doing, and our students also shared our best practices, so that they were also not doing certain things what our students taught them. So it was all in all a very very fruitful,
And what was the age
session.
group of the students, Jyoti?
It was like we did the middle school. It's like fifth to eighth grade. We did this,
Yeah, I think.
and it was a very good way to get a different perspective on
Mm-hmm.
global mindedness. In the sense, they earlier they were thinking that the issues are only India based. No, those are all global issues. So that's what I like, because at the end of the full project, so the children were very very confident, and they were very very, I will say, very comfortable with knowing, like, okay, these are all global issues and we're going to deal with it in different ways, and they had learned some new things, and they were very happy to take that on now from now on.
Such an interesting project. I'm sure Meenakshi also has something to say about this because she has also conducted many, many projects with her in her classroom. So I will invite her to come here and chat with you about the projects.
All right. Konnichiwa, Meenakshi.
Konnichiwa Jyoti. I think it's beautiful that how lovely it sounded when you started this whole podcast. I was listening to Meenakshi and yourself. You guys gave us a very international flavor, so that was really amazing. And yeah, like you just spoke about your environment project. There are multiple projects that we
I'm
can
sure.
we can do to bring in international mindedness, but I also want to bring it to focus that it's just not about projects. It's about the way you talk or converse and the way you can actually give a global flavor to just about any topic. Let's pick up any topic, right?
Yeah.
Give me a subject to pick.
Math.
Math. Now, maths is something that's like straightforward. You have to think about, if you're doing geometry, you have to think about shapes, you have to do lines, you have to do angles, all of that, right? So, where's the global mindedness? A colleague of mine, and all due respect to her, she this morning only shared this blog
All
on
right.
global mindedness in mathematics. So, thanks for bringing mathematics. And she had, Monica Kocher had these beautiful ideas about, how while you're doing shapes, you could actually look at shapes not just in buildings but in different cultures. For example, the outfits that we wear. So if you look at all these high fashion brands as well,
Yeah.
they go to smaller cities of different countries to study culture.
Yeah.
Like I was just following one of these really high end brand, and they did a fashion show. It is amazing to see how they actually fit in certain patterns and shapes of Mexican culture into a modern garment, and it just becomes like a trend.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Not just garments, but accessories everywhere. So, do you see the trail? It's just not about teaching the shapes, but what these shapes can become.
Exactly.
And not just from out of our own culture, but I think across the globe. So that's true global mindedness. Another example that I could quote is like, even in mathematics, while you're talking about percentage, so, percentage could actually travel. Some things change, some things don't change. So, a percentage, a concept of percentage, whether it is here in Delhi or India, or it is in any country across the globe,
True,
and you've traveled
absolutely.
so well,
Yeah.
did it change anywhere?
No, it didn't change
Exactly.
at all. Percentage is something which just it goes with you anywhere, any part of
Yeah.
the world you go to.
And especially, when students have to learn these kind of concepts, they really want to understand the context behind it. Why should I learn it? What if I don't even need it tomorrow? Well,
Yeah,
these topics are something that they will need all their lives, and they remain constant across the group.
exactly.
Yeah.
Totally agree with you there.
Yeah. So there could be many ways in which you could be talking about global mindedness, whether it is a math class or it is a language class, which I think I'll leave for Minakshi to take up because she's the best at it. You could take up art, you could take up any kind of cultural exchange. So we used to have this unit called culture curry. Again, I'm borrowing it from one of my colleagues, so Abhimanyu. And I think Nalini, thanks for lending me that. I don't even remember exactly who all did it, but thank you for all the colleagues who've been able to enrich this
Yeah.
knowledge of mine about cultures. They did this culture curry wherein you would bring in every perspective from different countries, different continents, different waters, and bring it together. For example, they did festivals from across the globe.
Okay.
So they did water and harvest festivals. And I think, Minakshi, you've been a part of one of those projects. I'll let you talk about that. But what I want to bring it to is it starts with me making a connection to my immediate world, that is my classmates. Then it goes into different families and bringing the culture together. For example, some children,
Community.
yeah,
Yeah.
within my classroom,
Okay.
some were from Bengal, some were
Yeah,
from
from
Assam, some
different
were from
parts of the
Tamil
country.
Nadu, some from Gujarat. So we bring in those different cultures and we have a culture curry pot, literally. So a melting pot of cultures is what we bring in. And these days, the metropolitan cities like Delhi or Mumbai or Hyderabad or Bangalore, or any of these cities, if you pick up, they are literally the melting pot.
Pots, totally.
You don't have to really travel to Delhi to eat a
Yeah.
butter chicken. You can be anywhere and you could be having it. This is what, uh, you know, uh, uh, I think what Minakshi meant when she said the world is flat.
Totally.
Now, to have dim sums, you really don't need to travel outside. You can get amazing dim sums here as well,
Yeah,
isn't it?
totally. I agree with you. You know, this global world has been, as she said, is totally flat. We don't need to go here and there. We just get everything in one place, whether it's within local India or different countries. Everything is here. So it's very like already I feel the world is very well connected thanks to technology these
Yeah.
days. We're all super connected. We don't need to wait for anything for a letter or a telegram to come now. Like instant, we are on instant gratification where we want to convey things, where we want to post where we want to post what we did in classroom. Social media also plays a big role in classrooms.
Absolutely.
It's like for global mindedness. There's so many channels available these days within social media. Like how to there are. I'm part of so many Facebook groups where we are connecting on everyday basis of what they're doing every day in their classrooms. So that also gives them a constant peek into other cultures.
Actually, talking about that, what we did was this is for the junior kids because when you talk about culture curry, you need to be at least grade 3 onwards. For the younger children, we have this unit which is normally a part of most of the classrooms across the globe, which is farm to table. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Imagine a grain of rice or a grain of wheat traveling from farm to table. What does it become? And
Yeah.
that's where your, culinary layout comes out. And it's beautiful to do such units, give students perspective that always wheat will not turn into a roti and rice will
Yeah.
not
That's
turn
true.
into your, just about boiled rice. It could be biryani, it could be a dim sum,
Anything.
it could
Yeah.
be
True.
anything, it could be a sushi,
Yeah.
it could be anything, right?
Right.
So
Right.
that's the way you broaden their horizons. You take them into different ways of thinking about the same thing or the same object, and
Exactly.
maybe give them a different perspective, a lens to look at that same object. Yeah.
Totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Totally agree with you.
I can't wait to hear Meenakshi's project on water and harvest festivals.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
eagerly waiting for that. Let's
let's
hear
hear it.
her.
Okay, I heard you talking about my project, and I'm very happy to share that project with
And we
both of you.
can't wait to hear. Go ahead.
Yes, it was when I was teaching grade 6 Baisakhi. Baisakhi festival, this is all about celebrating our nature, and it's a harvest festival
Yeah, of course,
basically,
yeah.
and people celebrate it with so much of love, pomp,
True.
and show they show their thankfulness to the nature.
Yes.
So I thought, let me teach it to teach the students international mindedness through this, because we all know nature is celebrated everywhere. Nature
Right.
is a giver, and every country celebrates it in some way or other way. So I gave the project to students. I gave them that first of all, I told them to find out whether other countries also celebrate these festivals.
How
So
interesting is that? Okay.
so they found out,
Mhm.
and they told me that there is a Thanksgiving festival in USA,
Yeah, that's
there is a
true.
Songkran festival in Thailand, and there's a Mid Autumn festival in China.
China, yeah.
I can't wait to tell you. Yeah, I have been a part of one of these festivals. So once, it's my anniversary around that time, and we went to Bangkok, and no, sorry, we went to Thailand, and we found it very strange that the Songkran festival was that day. They were actually playing with water,
Yes, I was
and
also. I also saw that
oh, you
actually.
did?
Yeah,
So it was
they
so
were in
interesting.
So why
their
water? What's the reason for
So,
water?
the best thing is we thought that how are they celebrating Holi? I mean, that
that was
happens in India
just close to
because we
Holi.
didn't know much about it. But yeah, you're so right. I'm sure your students have learned so much after, getting this global perspective.
Global perspective, and I gave them to find out. I made groups in the classroom, and they happily did the project, and they found out about these festivals, what are they, and then I collected all the informations, and then we came to the topic that other countries are also celebrating the things in the same way,
True.
and they got a collection of some festivals internationally which are celebrated to which are showing the celebration of nature.
Yeah, it's actually
And
the food is similar.
food
The
is
food is
similar,
different.
and
Sorry, the food is different.
and
The
what
culture is different, but the concept is same. We are just
yeah and
thanking God for the same thing.
yes, and
And
Jyoti, they did it so beautifully. They made the project so beautiful that they told ki how these festivals are celebrated, which months they are celebrated, which crops they are celebrating, how do they do it. uh, जैसे Meenakshi told me now कि they were playing
yeah,
a festival just like Holi. So
correct.
there are similarities in that also.
Yeah, of
In
course.
celebrating also there are similarities. So it was such a beautiful project, and I loved it.
So, look
Wonderful.
how out of just one chapter, you can actually build up a whole concept around, global mindedness. And you don't really need to have a longish kind of a project. You could have it run probably, you can even send it out on a Thursday or a Friday. And by Tuesday or Wednesday, you can start discussing it
Exactly.
from a global perspective, from a global bent of mind. And what is interesting, what Jyoti said in the beginning, that we're all human. We are going to celebrate for similar reasons. The dates on the calendar might be different, but we all have our own way of expressing our joys, our
Yeah.
or dealing with our struggles. They're all same. They're all similar, if not same. So it's very important for us to bring in global perspective and global international mindedness in our classrooms in every subject possible. And we are happy to discuss and share more examples with you, and would love to hear what you are doing in your classrooms. Please do share with us in the comments, and we would love to share it with the world what you're doing. Thank you so much for joining with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing up such a beautiful topic, and I hope you did enjoy this. Thank you. Bye
Thank
bye.